never made it, but I know what it takes. I'm motivated by a mix of emotion. Got my statement, and I'm reading it slow so I can understand it fully. Appreciate my standing, go out of this world and right on time. Oh, never in my life have I seen the sky light up like this. I'm far away from Earth and I wanna know if you exist. Mission control, do you read me? Send me my coordinates lately. Mission control, am I drifting? Tie me to someone who will love me, yeah. Wait, I think I'll last a bit longer. Fine.
Welcome everyone. Welcome everyone. Welcome everyone to another Ref Brandon and the Todd Family YouTube video. Wherever you are, whatever you may be doing, thank you so much for making Ref Brandon and the Todd Family part of your day. We always greatly appreciate it. Hopefully everybody had a wonderful weekend. I know I did. And it is the middle of March. It's a Monday, which means that just like every year, right around this time, yesterday was the release of the 2024 NCAA March Madness Tournament bracket. And it's funny that I still call it March Madness, and I can remember when I was in school, it was called March Madness. But it seems like now we have just about transitioned into the NCAA tournament. But I prefer still calling it March Madness, even though it does go until April. So it actually extends past March. But most of the madness is in March. Generally, by the time we get to April, we're down to the Elite Eight or the Final Four, and it's pretty much all chalk after that, and all the madness has ended, and it's no longer madness. But let's go ahead and talk about the NCAA tournament bracket. I'm not going to sit here and talk about all 16 teams in each region for a total of 64 teams, plus the first four play-in games. But I am going to tell you the top four seeds in each region, and in just about every single region, if not every region, one of the top four seeds is going to be projected and predicted to come out of that region. And of course, most years that's the way it goes, but not every year. And you could easily go to any sports website and find 1 through 16 in each region if you prefer to do that. In the South, the top four seeds are Houston, Marquette, Kentucky, and Duke. And of course, Duke is one of the blue bloods of college basketball. I'm not a big fan of this Duke team. I think their defense is average at best, and I'm just not a big fan of this Duke team at all. And Kentucky struggled for a while, but there towards the end of the season, they were actually playing pretty good basketball. So we'll see which Wildcat team we get now that it is tournament time, because the first half of the season, Kentucky looked like an average basketball team. But the last half of the season, they looked pretty good. In the East, the top four teams are UConn, Iowa State, Illinois, and Auburn. Now, me personally, I think Iowa State is a very underrated team. I think they're on the verge of being a top 10 basketball team, but I think they put them in the toughest bracket. So we'll see how far they're able to go, but Iowa State's a really good basketball team. In the Midwest region, the top four are Purdue, Tennessee, Creighton, and Kansas. And it's funny to see Kansas fall down to a 4 seed, which for most teams, being a 4 seed in a tournament's pretty good, but for Kansas basketball, that's not very good. But Purdue is a top 5 team every year in the regular season. But then come tournament time, they're out by the first weekend. And we know that Rick Barnes has coached for 175 years, and his teams always do good in the regular season. And then come tournament time, they fall apart. So with Purdue being the 1 seed and Tennessee being the 2 seed, if those two teams do what they normally do come tournament time, which is fall apart, you might see Creighton or Kansas make a deep run out of the Midwest region. And then out of the West region, the top 4 seeds are North Carolina, Arizona, Baylor, and Alabama. And the notable team in that region, because it's my team, is Clemson. They're a 6 seed in the West region, and they'll be playing the 11 seed New Mexico. And then, of course, coming up tomorrow night and Wednesday night, we have the first 4 games, as they call them now. We'll have 2 tomorrow night and 2 Wednesday night. So now the NCAA tournament is no longer 64 teams, it's 68 teams. We have the 16 seed Howard against the 16 seed Wagner. The 10 seed Colorado State against the 10 seed Virginia. The 16 seed Grambling against the 16 seed Montana State. And the 10 seed Colorado against the 10 seed Boise State. And again, we'll have 2 of those tomorrow night and 2 of those coming up on Wednesday night. And then the big, huge March Madness tournament will start on Thursday. First game on Thursday will tip off around 12:20 Eastern Time, Thursday afternoon. And the games will go all the way until after midnight, Thursday night / Friday morning. And then on Friday, the first game will tip off around 12:20 Eastern Time. It'll go all the way until after midnight, Friday night / Saturday morning. So we'll have 12 hours of college basketball on Thursday and 12 hours of college basketball on Friday. There's always upsets, always has been, always will be. Any thoughts on it, please feel free to let me know. Go ahead and tell me now who you think is going to win it all. Don't wait until a team wins it and then come back and say, I knew they were going to win it. No, if you think somebody's going to win it, go ahead and tell me now so it's out there so that everybody knows it. Honestly, really, truly, if I had to pick a team to win it all, I would say UConn, only because UConn looked really, really good for the majority of the regular season. And we know UConn is always good in college basketball. I think the best team in the country is Purdue, but I've just seen Purdue too many times look like world beaters in the regular season. And then come tournament time, they just fall apart. So until Purdue can prove to me that this year's team is going to be different, I don't think it will be. So they're out. And I don't trust Houston. And I don't trust North Carolina. And Kansas is way down this year. And I've already said I'm not a big fan of this Duke team at all. So if I had to pick somebody before it starts, just to go ahead and call my shot, I would say UConn. But I'm not going to be surprised if they do not win it. But just like I said this past playoff time in college football, this college basketball tournament should be really, really good because to me, there's just not one team that looks like they're far and away the best team in America. I could see about 15 different teams winning it, and I wouldn't be surprised if any of them win it, but I also wouldn't be surprised if none of them win it. If I had to pick somebody, I would pick the Yukon Huskies. Let's go ahead and get our dad joke of the day in here. I was mugged by 6 dwarfs last night. Not happy. And that does it for today's Ref Brandon and the Todd Family YouTube video. Until next time, it's Ref Brandon saying, just like in pro wrestling, life can be over by the count of 3. Tell your friends and family how much you love them. Bye.